The whole regiment stood in line for about 2 hours in mud over the shoe tops, waiting for a cup of hot coffee as we'd had nothing to eat for a few days. Welcome to McBurdo's expedition into the unknown and terrible. We have been stuck here in the ice for an eternity. Come into the captain's cabin and warm yourself before you head back out onto the decks. Welcome to my cabin. How long have we been trapped in this infernal ice pack? Or in the summer, tropical estuary. Today I shall read to you from my selection of innumerable primary sources, because the past said it better. Writers can embellish on a story that they've heard, but hearing the words of someone who actually witnessed an event, sometimes shocking, always amazing. I have not read this before, so we're going to experience it together. I'm going to break in with my opinions. Chances are, as you are a crew member of the HMS Meuse, you are not easily upset by the dark and terrible. None of these are very happy. The odd one is, it's a surprise. I will warn you now that these may not have the most politically acceptable ideas or language because they come from the past and things were different then. So make yourself comfy, grab yourself a suitable beverage, and let us block out this howling wind together. So today we are going to be talking about World War I, and it's the Harry L. Frieman collection, and it's his diary of a battle in September in 1917 in the Argonne Wood. A little different from what we've been covering, and these are his actual diaries. It's a typewritten copy, so I would say it's pretty accurate to what he experienced at the time. It's more clinical than some of our other offerings of late, a little different, and yet the way he talks about the things he's experiencing is quite something. So Friday, September 20th, and this is going to go through a series of days, some of them not so exciting, some of them horrendously exciting. Friday, September 20th. We hiked for 2 hours to some woods and slept in a field. Cold. We had 2 meals a day, not very good. We were somewhere in the Argonne forest. Captain has not been with us as he was acting regimental MG commander. Lieutenant Judson was a commander of company. So for the next few days, it's in the woods. Wednesday, September 25th. During the time in the woods, it has rained every night and slept out in open. We received orders to move that night for the front. For the first all-American drive on a 20-mile front in the Argonne Forest north of Verdun. We reached our frontline trenches at 11 p.m. Our first platoon was attached to the 1st Battalion. Second platoon was attached to the 3rd Battalion. Third platoon was attached to the 2nd Battalion. Did they just make that really needlessly complicated? How about first, second, third? Not first, second, third, second. I was platoon agent to Lieutenant Schisler, 2nd Platoon. September 26th. At midnight, our artillery on whole front, 2,600 cannon of all sizes opened a barrage and continued to fire to 5:30 a.m. At that time, we went over the top. We started fast at 6 a.m. The Signal Corps set up a screen? I think a screen, but it says a scren of smoke, which was like a wall in front of us so the Hun can't see us. We advanced a little and was caught in a machine gun nest. It was hard to advance on account of the ground all tore up. We cleaned out those machine gun nests, killing some and capturing some. We had very few casualties. Yay! We were advancing very fast. One man of HGG company attached to our company carrying ammunition was hit by a shell and killed. All they found of him was his arm. Like, there it is. This reminds me of an ex of mine who was a police officer who, when I phoned and asked him what he'd been doing at work, he went, "Oh, yeah, you know, I spent about 2 hours looking for a motorcycle rider's head. It went in the bushes." Straight off. He was a messed up little muffin. About 1 p.m., we set up our guns as we had to duck. One came near being shot. The sniper wounded Marshal Warfield through the arm, shot Hell through arm, and killed Eberline, a soldier of the 311th, and I located the sniper in the tree and we shot at him. I shot at him 7 times with my .45 caliber and he fell out of the tree. We advanced very far the first days, capturing many Huns and killed many. Our aeroplanes were flying very low and directed artillery. We took a large wood this afternoon and waited until the tanks came. They started across and we followed but couldn't advance on account of the heavy machine gun fire. We had to go back about 200 yards and lay in shell holes overnight. That's not going to be very nice. Friday, September 27th. At daybreak, we start again over no man's land. The weather very bad, cold, raining. I have been in northern French rain in Picardy and it just opened right up and it wasn't September. When was it? Oh, it was close. Yeah, it would have been close to the same time. And the rest of the time the weather was beautiful, but this rain, it was like West Coast of North America rain. Shout out to my Pacific Northwest coasters. Hey everybody. Just me interjecting. Niblet and I want to remind you to press that like and subscribe button. It's the sign of a true friend of the channel, and then you won't miss an episode. It helps encourage us to continue making these episodes. So like, share, subscribe. And now, back to today's feature. We had to advance under artillery and machine gun. We had to get into shell holes with water above our knees. This morning we cleaned out many machine gun nests, captured many prisoners, and took Mont Falcon 1,200 feet above sea level. Okay, he says next, it was one of the best observation posts the Huns had. At first I was like, what a strange scenic detail. Yes, we took this place and it was really high. Yay! I understood quite a bit more about World War I, seeing the land where it happened, because I'd studied it for years and not really. You have to stand on the land. Sometimes you just, as some of you might know, I read about Germany in World War II.
Wait, yep. Okay. Go! Right.
It took living in Germany for me to understand quite a bit about Germans, because you can read it in books and it's not quite like experiencing it. It was one of the best observation posts the Huns had. This is where the Crown Prince viewed the Battle of Verdun in 1916 when 100,000 soldiers gave their lives.
Having said that, I do have some thoughts.
That would be lovely. I'm just gonna go fight in this place where people have fought before. It reminds me of 1st Manassas and 2nd Manassas, where the soldiers, or Bull Run, where the soldiers were sitting there amongst the bones of the soldiers who'd fought the first Manassas. Like, that's not gonna be hard on your morale at all. The town was in ruins, not a building left. That afternoon, the Huns started to counterattack. We took up a defensive position in case of attack, but they failed, and we advanced further under heavy fire and gas shells of all kinds. Saturday, September 28th. We have advanced a very little under heavy shell fire. There were many air battles, many Bosch machines shot down Friday and Saturday. One of our machines was shot down and one plane cut right in half. It ran into a shell in the air. One Bosch plane shot down one of our observation balloons, but he was shot down on his way back. That night, we returned to Montfaucon and stopped in Graveyard overnight because we really, really, really need that reminder. But it was probably had nice grass still. Sunday, September 29th. At daybreak, we started off again. We went very fast and our artillery couldn't keep up with us. We crossed many hills and we were under observation of the Huns. We had many casualties in the 313th Regiment. John Ryan, the best-liked man in our company, was killed. We kept going on up to a railroad track, which was a defiliated space. Defiliated. I'm just going to admit here, I'm not even sure what he means, defiliated. And stood there for a while. Then we advanced a few hundred yards and was under German observation all the time. I wonder if observation means they were being shot at? I just don't know. We had many casualties by artillery, machine guns, and snipers. This morning we were relieved by the 316th Infantry. We went back as far as the railroad track. The 316th Infantry had many stragglers and started for the rear. Just at that time, General Nicholson came up on horseback and ordered every man back and told us men, if we see any stragglers, to run them back or shoot them. This afternoon, the 316th Infantry could not hold the lines and our regiment was ordered back to take the next objective at any cost. Well, we knew what we were up against, but the 313 went at it. Our company started across an open field with the ammunition cars. As we advanced to the edge of a small wood, we set up our guns and opened up a barrage. Can almost picture it, like it's very clinical, but it's really well described too. The Huns opened heavy machine gun fire, and there was some Hun snipers left in the woods where we were, and they opened fire. A short distance from us, there was a Red Cross flag supposed to be a hospital. Instead, their artillery opened fire on us. Well, they made it very hot for us. We had very many casualties. My lieutenant, Schisler, was hit very badly by high explosive and dropped. As he dropped, he raised his left leg and a machine gun bullet went through his leg. At the same time, another shell dropped near Lieutenant Butler, 3rd Platoon, and hit him in the leg several places, threw him a few feet in the air. One shell dropped near me and covered me all up in mud. As I got up, some shrapnel exploded near me, and lucky a piece just skinned my hand and made a slight scratch. Lieutenant Judson was lucky. A sniper shot at him as he was standing sideways, and the bullet went through his sleeve without touching him. That's like good that he had his 3 4-leaf clovers and a horseshoe. We had many casualties, but we gained our objective. About 6 p.m. we were relieved again and started back. We had a few casualties going back. We were back an hour when we received an order to go back again. We had no officers with us at this time.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
The first sergeant gives me a message to take to Captain Griffith. He was with Colonel Sweezy at the time, telling him he would come if necessary. I started with message under heavy shell fire and delivered it. Captain Griffith said for us to stay where we were. Everything okay. We stopped near the railroad overnight. Like, all these people have died, and what have they accomplished? Like, we went to the railroad, we came back. We went to the railroad, more people died, we came back. Monday, September 30th. At daybreak, we took up defensive positions at the railroad track. We made machine gun emplacements and dug in a little in ground to keep out the rain. We stood there until 1 p.m. and the 3rd Division came in to relieve our 79th Division. We started to go back under heavy artillery fire. We were very tired and hiked about 2 hours that night to some woods. The whole regiment stood in line for about 2 hours in mud, over the shoe tops, waiting for a cup of hot coffee as we'd had nothing to eat for a few days. When it reached our company, there was no more left, so we had nothing that night. During this drive, we had emergency rations of 4 boxes of hardtack, 1 pound of corn willy. We ate that and had 1 hot meal Sunday night. That is all we ate on account of our kitchen could not keep up with us. We had a canteen of water when we started, and we did not get any more water until Sunday afternoon. We were lucky that the Huns in their retreat failed to cut off the water. Until Sunday, most of the men were drinking water out of shell holes, taking a chance as most of the holes were filled with gas. We had many gas attacks. We wore our masks at times when the gas was heavy. At times we'd go right on without them. The weather was cold and raining nearly every day. We had hardly any sleep, as we had to lay in water and mud, cold out and no cover of any kind. On Sunday, we had so many casualties the first aid couldn't take care of them. So many wounded laying out on the battlefield overnight in the rain died by morning. And that is the end of that battle. But perhaps we'll revisit Harry Frieman again another day. Yes, that's your tail. That's your bud.